Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Loudly Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Radhe Shyam Jaya Radhe Shyam Jaya Srimad-Bhagavatam Jaya Srimad-Bhagavatam Loudly Jaya Srimad-Bhagavatam Jaya Srimad-Bhagavatam Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Srila Gurudev ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्-भागवतम की समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayat Mudirayet Nashta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloker Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Janmadiyasya yatanvayaditaratascharteshva abhignaswarat Tene brahmaradayadi kavaye muyanti yata suraya Tejo vari mradam yatha vinimayo yatra tri sargo mrasha Dhamna svena sada nirastakuhakam Satyam param dhimahi Dharma projita kaitavatra paramo Nirmatsaranam satam Vedyam vastamatra vastu shivadam tapotrayan moolanam Srimad-Bhagavate Mahamuni Krute Kim va Pararishvara Sadyo Hridaya Vridyatra Krutibhi Sushushubhistakshanat Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam Shukamukhadam Mritadram Sanyutam Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Muhuravo Rasika Bhuvi Bhavuka Homa Yajna timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Sri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadhi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So the conversation is going on between Narad Muni and Vyasadev. Narad Muni, he narrated his own past life. He was a son of a maid servant and he got association of Premi Bhaktas of the Lord. And then suddenly Naradji stopped. And Vedavyasji, he became more interested to know about the further life of his own spiritual master. We are also very eager to know about our sadhus who are very, very dear to us. So we try to dig out a lot of things from senior disciples or other God brothers and try to understand about our spiritual master, the sadhu who is very dear to us. So Vedavyasji, he asked from Naradji, Naradji, can you please tell me, what did you do exactly after those great souls, they initiated you and they left? What did you do? Naradji said that when that great souls left, I was a 5-year-old boy. I was under the care of my mother. And my mother was a very simple woman. She was serving in the house of a Brahmana. I was studying in a Brahmana school. That was my life. One day, all of a sudden, a snake bit my mother and she left her body. taking this, a 5 years old boy took this as Krishna's arrangement in his life. Because he has understood the essence of everything from those saintly people. That's why when his mother left, he understood that the last attachment which is there in my life is my mother. And Krishna took it away. And so, after that happened, after that episode happened, this little boy of 5 years old did not take shelter of anyone else. He simply took shelter of the Lord in his heart, and he started walking straight towards the north, towards the Himalayas. And while traveling towards the Himalayas, this little boy came across so many factories, so many forests, so many places of mines of gold, copper, silver. He came across so many cities, villages, towns. But his mind was very fixed. He did not get attracted to them. He simply kept moving forward towards his journey to the Himalayas. In our life also, there is nobody is with us actually. We have the instructions from our spiritual master. We have the holy name. We have Srimad-Bhagavatam. That's it. We all have to fly our own plane. If you think somebody is going to help you in your journey, no one. So this little boy understood that essence of life and he started walking. And when he reached the mountains of Himalayas, there underneath a banyan tree, because he was very thirsty, he was very hungry, he sat underneath and he decided to take a bath. And he took his bath. And then he, sitting under the banyan tree, he decided to meditate on the form of the Lord, which the great souls told him. Supreme Lord is not impersonal. Supreme Lord has a form. And the form is described in the Srimad-Bhagavatam. That form is described by the sages. Supreme Lord is not impersonal. He's a personified form. So this little boy, when he had understood from the Bhakti Vedantas how the Supreme Lord looks like, he started meditating on the form of the Lord on the form of the Lord. And as soon as he did that, and he started chanting the holy names of the Lord, the tears started to come from his eyes. And he felt ecstatic. And then the Lord of the heart, Sri Krishna, appeared in his heart. He was able to see him in person within his heart. If we have no material attachments, when can we see the form of the Lord? When we have no material attachments, even then we can also see the transcendental form of the Lord within our heart. This little boy, when he saw the form of the Lord in his heart, all the symptoms of a Premi Bhakta, he started crying, his hair was standing on his end, and he was completely absorbed in and he was happy to see the form of the Lord. And suddenly, the form of the Lord disappeared from the vision of the boy. Krishna is like that. When he was with the gopis, everything was going on nicely. All the gopis were enjoying his company. All of a sudden, in the Rasa Leela, he left all of them and took away Srimati Radharani, and then he went further. And then further, Krishna even left Srimati Radhika. That is Krishna. He disappears like that. For what? Why does it disappear? So this little boy, when he lost the form of the Lord in the heart, he became very disturbed. And he was looking forward here and there, here and what should he do to get the form of the Lord? He was like crazily trying to do something by which that form of the Lord can appear again in his heart, again to his vision. Unfortunately, the Lord is not in our box. The Lord is not in our control. Lord is independent, Swarat. He decides when he has to reveal himself. Only out of his causeless mercy is his transcendental form revealed to us. If we think that by our own efforts, if we can capture the Lord, it is not possible. The Lord is transcendental. Only out of his causeless mercy, he chooses to be available to only selected people to whom decides. Out of causeless mercy, he decides. When he sees someone is very genuine, had no material desire except for getting his lotus feet, then he appears. And the Lord, when he removed his form, this boy was disturbed, and the Lord spoke to him. And the Lord told that, my dear boy, unfortunately, in this birth, you won't be able to see me again. I only gave you darshan to increase your hankering for me. In our heart, we have hankering for so many things. And that is the reason why we don't have the lalasa. The lalsa should be not for Vishaya, for the material objects, but lalsa should be for Krishna. If we have that lalasa, desire to attain the lotus feet of the Lord, see him in person, and if we are hankering for that, praying for that, then what is going to happen is all our other desires in our heart will automatically go away. So we should have sincere desire in our heart to see the transcendental form of the Lord. That lalsa, that greed has to be there within our heart. If that is not there, if that is absent, then our Krishna conscious life can go anywhere. So it is always, a devotee should always be praying to the Lord that my dear Lord, when will I be able to see the transcendental form of your lordships? When will that unwanted material desires in my heart will go away? Oh my dear Lord, please, can you please, just like you have been favoring this little boy by your darshan, when will I get to see your form? Oh Lord, just like you showered your causeless mercy on Dhruv Maharaj, just like you showered your causeless mercy on Prahlad Maharaj and you showed your form to them, like to the gopis you showed your form, when will I get a chance to see you in person? Will that be possible in this life? Oh my dear Lord, I do not want anything from this world. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim kavitam va jagdisha kamaye mama janmani janmaneshware bhavatad bhakti rahito. I do not want this name, fame, pratishta. I do not want this opulence. I just simply want to render loving service unto you. That is my only desire in my heart. To see you. You may put me in whatever situation you want to do that, for a purification. But please allow me to see your transcendental form of the Lord. That greed, that hankering should be there within our heart. Unless that is there, we're not advancing. If you don't have greed for Krishna, his service, if you don't have greed for hearing about his name, his fame, his pastimes, if you don't have lalasa for that, then where are we heading? Because Krishna, we are spending years after years in Krishna consciousness, but still that greed has not come in our heart. That lalasa has not come in our heart. Why? Because we are not taking shelter of Krishna's name, fame, pastimes. we are not taking shelter of Srimad-Bhagavatam. The more and more we are away from this, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, these three aspects are for Srimad-Bhagavatam. Krishna's name, fame, pastimes. These three aspects. Hearing the Lord's name, fame, pastime, reading about them and glorifying them and remembering them. So the Lord told him that, my dear little boy, I won't be able to give you darshan again. So this Narad Muni, this little boy, after the Lord disappeared from his vision, he heard the voice and he paid obeisances. The Lord told him that after you quit this body, you will become my associate. So the Lord, he disappeared, and this little boy offered respectful obeisances to that voice. And then, ignoring all the formalities of the material world, he started to travel across the world and began glorifying Krishna. How should we be preaching? What is preaching? Preaching means ignoring all the formalities of the material world. One should exclusively glorify Krishna's name, fame, pastimes. And while doing that, this little boy was traveling in a very humble state of mind, not unenvious. Our dealings, we should be humble, not envious, and we should be helpful to everyone. So in this way, this boy passed by and he was traveling. And Naradji is saying that in the last millennium, that the time came when I left my body, and then there was also the time of annihilation, and Brahma entered into Lord Narayana. And then after 1,000 yugas, he Sahasra Yuga, when Brahmaji again came back for creation as per the will of the Lord, at that time, along with Marichi, Atri and other rishis, I also came from the body of Brahma. And Brahmaji, so Naradji is the son of Brahma. And since that time, Naradji travels across the world. Even in the transcendental world, Naradji is saying to Vedavyas, and now in this form of Narada, I travel across the globe, even in the transcendental form, the transcendental world, and also across the 14 planetary systems, without stoppage. And I propagate, as soon as I sing the Krishna's name on my veena, the Supreme Lord appears in my tongue, and I constantly chant the holy names of the Lord. So Lord is always with me. There is never a time, the pure devotees of the Lord, there is never a time when they are away from the Supreme Lord. Shri Radhika Madhava Yorapara Madhurya Lila Gunarupa Nanu Pratikshana Swadana Lupasya Vande Guru Sri Charanarvinda. This pure Anala devotees, they are 24 hours thinking of Krishna. Even for a moment, I'm talking about authentic, bona fide, pure devotees. It's very important. These are eternal associates of the Lord. They are 24 hours absorbed in the thought of Krishna. Even for a moment, they cannot bear the separation from the Lord. Even for a moment. That is how the saintly, this is what Naradji is. 24 hours thinking of Krishna. And representatives, authentic and bona fide representatives in his line are also the same. The acharyas are the same. And And then Naradji, then he instructed Vedavyas, thus you have heard my activities, what I did. Now I am requesting you, O Vedavyas, please meditate on the Supreme Lord and start writing Srimad-Bhagavatam. So Vedavyasji, when he understood the glories of the Lord, the glories of his great devotee Naradji, and as per his instructions, Srila Vedavyas he revised the original Bhagavatam which was written previously, and he brought it a new version called as Srimad-Bhagavat Mahapuran. Those who are absolutely new to this subject matter, we discussed about this yesterday, or day before yesterday, that Vedavyasji, when he compiled the 18 Puranas, Srimad-Bhagavatam was also compiled along with that. After that, Mahabharata was compiled. And then Vedavyasji was dissatisfied, despondent, discontent was there in his heart. In our life also, we are in similar situations. We might have spent good amount of time in Krishna consciousness in the society with the devotees, but within our heart there is still dryness. Within our heart there is still dissatisfaction. Within our heart there is still discontent. Why? Because we are far, far away. The same reason why Vedavyasji was feeling dissatisfied in his heart, because he did not exclusively take shelter of Krishna's name, fame and pastimes. He divided one Vedas into 4. He compiled 18 Puranas. He compiled Mahabharata. But Naradji is telling him that you did not exclusively take shelter of Krishna's name, fame and pastimes. You did not write that book which exclusively talks about pure unalloyed devotion to Lord Sri Hari. And if that is not there in our, so if we are also in that, we are also despondent, we are also dissatisfied in the heart, we are also not nourished, then we should understand that we are doing everything, but we are forgetting the essence of everything. Vedavyasji composed 4 lakh verses for the benefit of the people, but what it mattered? Nothing. After compiling 4 lakh verses also, the actual thing which was to be done was not done. What? To give human beings a chance to attain perfection in that very birth, and that was only possible by exclusively taking shelter of Krishna's name, fame, activities and pastimes. That's why Naradji guided Vedavyasji to write Srimad-Bhagavatam. In our lives as well, if we are not taking shelter of Srimad-Bhagavatam in the form of hearing that too from whom? Hearing from devotees whose life is Srimad-Bhagavatam. Not that if the Srimad-Bhagavatam should be part of our everyday life. I have repeated this in the first class as well. I am going to repeat that again. That Srimad-Bhagavatam is food for soul. Just like after the class, we all will go for prasadam, because it is an essential part for our living. We need nourishment for the body. We can't survive without it. That's why twice or thrice in a day we take prasad, so that our body is nourished and we can do all our activities nicely without disturbance. We can do all our services nicely. Even if we are sick, let's say we fall sick, even in that sick condition we need food, isn't it? It is not that in that sick condition we said, okay, I will not eat food now. When we are sick, we also need a health diet, but we need food. And when we are healthy, we definitely eat 3 times a day and good feast. Right? Similarly, Just like the body, when it gets food, it gets nourished. Similarly, our soul also needs nourishment. What is the nourishment for the soul? The nourishment for the soul is Krishna Katha. And what is the best source of Krishna Katha? It is Srimad-Bhagavatam. Why Srimad-Bhagavatam? Because it has questions and answers related to Lord Krishna. Shukadeva Goswami, when he came out from the womb of his mother, he started walking straight to the forest. And what was he attracted to? He was attracted to the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, and he came back to hear the entire Srimad Bhagavatam from his father Vyasadeva. 88,000 rishis, they were performing sacrifice, yajna, sacrifice for the pleasure of Lord Vishnu. But when Suta Goswami path came there, they stopped the sacrifice and took shelter of Suta Goswami and heard Srimad Bhagavatam from him. Rahugan, who was he? Rahugan was the king of Sindh Pradesh. He was on his way to meet Kapila Muni, Dattatreya. And he met Jad Bharat. Jad Bharat was actually Jad, like a stone. He did not utter a word in that entire life to anyone. When his father taught him chant Gayatri, he expressed that he is a dumb fellow and he cannot chant Gayatri. So his father also gave it up. That Jad Bharat who did not utter a word throughout his life, when he met an adhikari person, a qualified person, he spoke Srimad Bhagavatam to him. Because Rahugan's purpose was what? For meeting Kapila Muni Dattatreya, he wanted to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from him. Vidurji, when Vidura, he was traveling across the Bharat Bhumi and he met Uddhava in Vrindavan. And there he found out Uddhava. There he met Uddhava in Vrindavan and he found out from Uddhava that Krishna has kept some instructions for me at Maitreya Muni. So Vidura went to Haridwar, took shelter of Maitreya Muni and heard Srimad Bhagavatam from him. Uddhav came to know that Lord Krishna is planning to depart from this world. Brahma and all the devatas, they came to meet Lord Krishna in Dwarka. And the Lord Brahma said, "My dear Lord, thank you so much that you came for us. You performed your sweet pastimes. You established dharma. Now, I think the purpose is complete of your avatar. You can now go, you can depart. If you want to continue, you can. This is your world. It is your home. Everything is yours. But if you come for our purpose, I think the Leela is over. Now you can depart." Lord Krishna, after the departure of Brahma and others, he invited all the ministers and everybody in Dwarka. In Sudarbha Sabha, Lord had a meeting. And Yadu dynasty was already cursed. So Lord said, "We have to go now to Prabhas Kshetra." At that time, Uddhava met Krishna in Dwarka. Uddhava was there, he met Krishna. And that's where Uddhav Gita, that 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, was spoken. There is a misunderstanding that Uddhav Gita was spoken in Prabhas Kshetra. No. Uddhav Gita was spoken in 11th canto was spoken in Dwarka itself. Krishna spoke the Srimad Bhagavatam to Uddhavji in confidence. if you see the life of these great personalities, Srila Prabhupada ji, what did he bring to the West? What did he bring to the West? Srimad-Bhagavatam. He was on such a busy schedule. Old man, 69 years old, he started his journey. 11 years he was traveling in the Western world. His life was super tight, super busy. He had no time in a day. What was he doing in the night? I want to hear, what was he doing in the night? Huh? What was he doing in the night? Translating Srimad-Bhagavatam. For whom? For whom? For you? For whom? Prabhupada ji was translating Srimad-Bhagavatam. We all say we love Prabhupada. We love Prabhupada. We will die for him. We all say that we will die for Prabhupada, right? We are ready to do anything for him. My point is, dying is a different subject matter. First, follow what he has done. First, at least read what he has done. We have no time to read his own books, his commentary on Srimad-Bhagavatam, and we want to preach and die for him. What will we preach if we have not studied the subject matter? We don't know what to speak because we haven't read. We have very limited understanding of Krishna consciousness. I'm honestly talking. We have very limited understanding because we don't study Srimad-Bhagavatam. And then one fine day, Krishna sends a test in the form of Maya, and she comes and we are lost. We are gone. Because we are not nourished. Our Krishna conscious life is not nourished. We are also dissatisfied in the heart. We are also despondent. Why? Because we are not taking shelter of Srimad-Bhagavatam. We are very eager to distribute books. It should be done. It is a great cause. It should be done. But at the same time, reading those books is more important than distributing. Because without reading it, if you are distributing, what is the use of such distribution? It is very essential, very important that His Divine Grace, His Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, he actually, by writing a commentary on Srimad-Bhagavatam, has delivered the English language. English language is not as respected language. It's a mleccha language in one sense. But it is delivered because an Acharya has written a commentary in English language. It is a very big thing. It's not easy to explain the transcendental Vaishnava Siddhanta in English. But this personality has did that miracle. Somehow or other, he had made his purport, transcendental purports, in a way in which he has put the essence of the writings of so many acharyas, and he has made it available to us. But Hare Krishna devotees are more busier than what Acharya was. That they have no time for reading the Srimad-Bhagavatam. The whole society was founded for this particular purpose, to propagate the transcendental science of Srimad-Bhagavatam, because he carried Srimad-Bhagavatam with him. So that spreading the culture of Bhagavad Dharma is the topmost priority of our lives. What are we preaching? The Bhagavad Dharma. But we should know what is Bhagavad Dharma. We don't know what is Bhagavad Dharma. I want to understand from devotees here, what is Bhagavad Dharma? Please raise your hands and reply to me. What is Bhagavad Dharma? What is Sanatan Dharma? What is Jaiva Dharma? Explain. I want to hear. We have spent sufficient amount of time in the movement. At least we should know what is Bhagavad Dharma. Anybody? I'll be happy. I'll be happy to hear this, please. You know it. What is Sanatan Dharma? Come on. I'll put it very simple. What is Sanatan? Look into Google, look into ChatGPT, go everywhere. Azadi, for independence to you. Yes, Prabhu. Yes. What is Sanatan Dharma? Okay. But what is that? Eternal religion. Okay. Any other versions? About Bhagavad Dharma? Uddhav? What is it? Okay. Any other versions, my friend? Okay. A famous verse by Prahlad Maharaj which gives the definition of Bhagavad Dharma. Which is that? A famous verse by Prahlad Maharaj which is like a definition of Bhagavad Dharma. Yes. Perfect. This is the definition. This is the... What is Bhagavad Dharma? Okay, I'll explain a bit. Okay. Sanatan Dharma, okay, Bhagavad Dharma, Jaiva Dharma. These all three are same meaning. It's the same name, same terminology, different, same thing, different names are used. What? Sanatan Dharma is Bhagavad Dharma. Bhagavad Dharma is Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma is Jaiva Dharma. Jaiva Dharma is Bhagavad Dharma. These three are same. Okay. So what is Sanatan Dharma? Sanatan means what? Eternal. Dharma means occupation. That occupation of the living entity. That occupation of ours, which cannot be separated from us at any given time. That occupation of ours, we are in a 84 lakh species, cat, dog, elephant, donkey, monkey, in any species we may be. In any relationship, we may be brahmachari, we may be grahastha, we may be vanaprastha, we may be sannyasi. We may be engineer, a doctor, a PhD, any. That occupation of ours which cannot be separated from us at any given point of time is called Sanatana Dharma. And what is that? That is rendering unalloyed devotion to the Lord Shri Hari. Rendering unalloyed devotion to Lord Hari. And there are 9 processes for that. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. That means hearing about Krishna's name, Krishna's fame, Krishna's pastimes. Right? Then Kirtan, speaking about them. Reading also comes under hearing. Then speaking about them. That is our duties. Speaking about that. Remembering that. Vandanam, worshipping the Lord. If you are worshipping the Lord, Vandan. Before Vandan, what is there? There are other processes are there. So while we should worship the Lord, but also we should do Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Then while you are worshipping the Lord, it will have proper state of mind in worshipping the Lord. Every activity we do in Krishna consciousness, if we are not nourished, we are doing Kirtan. But then the Kirtan in our heart will be only for a melody. And in our heart, we will only think, oh, ho, ho, everybody is now dancing and clapping. Wow, wow. Very nice. Look, we're getting recorded also. I'm going to get 1 million views now. This is not Kirtan. Why is the situation here like this? Because we are not nourished. We are washing the pots. We are doing some menial service, seva. And we are thinking, oh, why am I into this? I'm an engineer, I'm a rocket scientist, I'm this and that. I was better off there. I am here washing the pots in the temple, serving these different people. What am I doing? This is because we are not nourished. We have not understood. So these are so many aspects where we are not nourished. Then it is going to affect our all. It is chanting also. While chanting also we don't remember Krishna. While chanting also a lot of other things come to our mind. And we are chanting just for the sake. We just chant. Once it is complete, we don't even look at the feedback throughout the day. We offer respectful obeisances to it. Why chanting? Why is chanting not relishable? Because we have not sufficiently heard about Krishna's Srimad-Bhagavatam. Because that nourishment comes to us, then the chanting also becomes more relishable. Because while chanting, naturally remembrance comes of the Lord. Natural remembrance comes. Because throughout the day, if you're absorbed with something else, and while chanting, how are we going to remember Krishna? So there are so many such factors which affect when we are away from Srimad-Bhagavatam. So it is very important that we study Srimad-Bhagavatam on an everyday basis. Minimum 1 hour. Start from half an hour. 1 chapter per week it is possible. I'm going to give a very simple technique today. 1 chapter per week. In every chapter there are number of verses, right? 23 verses in first chapter, second chapter 34 verses. Next chapter there are other. Just divide that verses by 7. You have 7 days, right? So divide that verses by 7. Example, first chapter has 23 verses. Divide that by 7 number of days. How much we get? 3, 7, 14, 21. 3 verses per day approximately. With purpose we have to read. How much time it is going to take? 20 minutes to 25 minutes. That's it. Like that, every week we can complete 1 chapter of Srimad-Bhagavatam. In 1 month, 4 chapters will be completed. Like that, in a very simple way, we can start taking shelter of Srimad-Bhagavatam. If we love Srila Prabhupada, then we should love his writing as well. Not that the books are only kept in the library and only for selling. Not for me, I'm a devotee. I don't need this. We offer everyday Guru Puja, but we are not understanding the mood of the Acharya. What is he writing in the Bhagavatam? This is the biggest contribution. What can happen for the humanity is having a commentary on the Srimad-Bhagavatam. On every verse there is a commentary in the English language. It is actually, I'm telling you, in various sampradayas also, this commentary has been referred. And they are reading it very nicely. But Hare Krishna devotees, they are so elevated that they have no time for Bhagavatam. So it is very important that we start taking shelter of Srimad-Bhagavatam before it's too late. If we are nourished, we will be happily situated in Krishna consciousness, and no amount of disturbance can bother us. Okay? Hare Krishna. Granthra Srimad-Bhagavatam ki. Any questions, my dear friends? Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the inspiring class. Could you give some more advices for congregationally reading Srimad-Bhagavatam more or in an ashram situation together, how we can do it, establish it on a regular basis?
To be very, very honest, we need to understand how to study. Actually, I have a course called as Bhagavad Teachers Training Program. So I've been doing that, and the first topic is in that how to various ways of studying Bhagavatam. Very honestly speaking, reading the purports, devotees feel disinterested. Because after going through with great enthusiasm, they open the book. I'm going to start studying Bhagavatam from today. Promise. Prabhupada ji promise. He goes and opens the first canto, first chapter, first verse. That's it. It takes 4 hours for him to complete that. He said, okay, next day, first canto, first chapter, second verse, he goes there. Big purport. That's it. Many of them are gone there. This Bhagavatam is not for me. Then other devotees, devotees like Krishna Prem Rupa, they are inspiring others and they're studying. So many devotees are studying. They reach to the second canto and third canto, fourth canto of Bhagavatam, and they completely forget what is in the first canto. Oh my God. There are devotees I have met, because as a teacher of Bhagavad Teachers Training Program, I have trained more than 5,000 devotees in the last 11, 12 years. So while going through that, they reach the sixth canto of Bhagavatam, or sometimes they even complete the Bhagavatam in entirety, all the 12 cantos. But if I ask them, Prabhuji, what is there in the first canto and second canto and third canto? Can you please tell some names of the chapter? We don't remember. What is the first canto, ninth chapter? Come on. Huh? Check it out. It is Queen Kunti. Check it out. Yes. I think, 8th chapter is Kunti and 9th is Bhishma Dev. Yes. So what happens is, we completely tend to forget. So Brahmachari's problem, Grahastha's problem, Vanaprastha's problem, Sannyasi's problem. We have all the same problem. That the literature is vast. But there is a way to study it. The first method, the first level, there are 4 levels of studying Bhagavatam. The first level is going through the translations of the entire Srimad-Bhagavatam. Why? Because first thing happens when you study this only translations of the entire Srimad-Bhagavatam. First thing happens is one get to know what is there in the entire Bhagavatam in a short span of time. It takes 15 minutes to study one chapter with translations. Okay? Like that you can study 3 chapters per day, and in 3 months' time you can complete the whole of Bhagavatam with translations. If the pace of 3 chapters has been possible. What happens, one comes to know what is there in the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, what is there in the entire cantos, what is there in every chapter of Bhagavatam, one comes to know. That creates, this first level is very essential. It creates an interest in the minds of devotees to understand this subject matter deeply. Then when we start with the purports, then the purport becomes tastier. Because in purports also many times references from the different cantos are been given, and we don't know why is Prabhupada is mentioning about Pingla, prostitute Pingla, Prabhupada is mentioning about 11th canto, this Uddhava Gita was spoken, he's mentioning somewhere else in earlier cantos. Now, how will I know? I haven't studied. Until the time I reach the 12th canto with the purports, one yuga passes by. So, that is, we need to understand the first level is very important. Once that is done, second level is with Prabhupada's purport. At least 2 times a person should read the entire Srimad Bhagavatam of Prabhupada's purports. 2 times. That is the second level. Third level is reading with the help of the Tikas of the Acharyas. And then there is 4th level also. 4th level is, Prabhupada has in his purports mentioned, study of Sandarbhas and study of Darshanas. Prabhupada has said even one should not sit on the Vyasasana if he does not know Darshan. 6 Darshanas, 6 Indian philosophies. And then Sandarbhas as well, Jiva Goswami Sandarbhas. That's the 4th level. Like that, there are 4 levels of studying. And a devotee should plan his own life so that he could study Srimad Bhagavatam in these 4 different levels. And with regards to your question, best is to develop a habit of studying independently. Because if that person or this person, that person is not there, then your studying is going to stop. In Brahmacharya ashram, in Grahastha ashram, everybody should be inspired to study, self-study on its own. We should develop a habit of studying on an everyday basis. So wherever we are in the world, it doesn't matter. We have that habit. My dear friends, 21 days. 21 days, give yourself a challenge. And study Srimad-Bhagavatam without taking a break. Just 21 days. I promise you that it will turn into a lifetime. Just 21 days, challenge yourself and take up this 21 days Srimad-Bhagavatam reading challenge. Okay? 22nd day onwards, you will be in love with Bhagavatam, and Bhagavatam must have accepted you by that. And then it will be a lifetime story. It will be a lifetime journey. There will be no looking back. But the 21 days without a break, even there is tsunami coming, there is earthquake happening, volcanoes erupting, those 21 days, don't stop. Okay? This is my humble request unto the lotus feet of the Vaikuntha Vasis here. You're all staying in the abode of Lord Narasimhadev. I see this as Vaikuntha Loka. So I offer my respectful obeisances to all of you and humbly request you to do that. Take up the 21 days challenge. And it should be self-study. Group study, you can do it, but I prefer it's a psychology. Self-study means self-study. If you can cross the 21 days on your own, that's it. It is Anartha Nivritti stage. Any other questions, my dear friends? Yes, sir.
Not a question, but just appreciation. Thank you for emphasizing the importance of reading. Serving in the Ministry of Education with this Books Are the Basis program we just had. It's very refreshing to hear a speaker emphasizing so much the importance of reading. And as you said, sometimes devotees are overwhelmed because Bhagavatam, 18,000 shlokas, 12 cantos, will never make it. But as you described, just step by step, studying it. There is also Vaisheshika Prabhu they have developed an app, page by page. What is it? Becoming a sage, page by page.
Become a sage, page by page.
Yeah, so there's an app, and you can actually check. Okay, if I take 1 year time, how many pages do I have to read from the Bhagavatam to complete it in 1 year? Or if I say I want to complete the Bhagavatam in 6 months, then I can check how many pages do I need to read. So there's different ways. But as you said, nicely explained, it's all about making a clear plan, and then also I like the point of trying to get an overview, trying to understand and developing a taste. So anyway, just repeating what you already said, just want to express my appreciation. This is very, very important. And thank you.
I just had to add one thing. If we can start worshipping Bhagavatam, in your personal life, have a small altar. All of us have a small altar. Just keep Bhagavatam for any canto there and worship that. And offer obeisances to it every day. Jai Srimad-Bhagavatam. Every day. It will also bring a miracle in your life. When we understand this Krishna, it is not different from Krishna. It will create a miracle. Okay? Any other questions? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Not a question, but Prabhu set a tone for some comments. During this whole week, I remember the lecture from His Grace Amarendra Prabhu, where he was glorifying Bhagavatam, and he told a very nice story, where he says that there were some sages in long time back, and they were discussing where can we find nectar. And they discussed that the nectar could be in the sea, because of course they did a Samundar Manthan, but that was of a milk sea, but maybe there is nectar in the sea. Maybe there is nectar in in Nagaloka, the Loka of snakes, because Bhima was sent there and they gave him Amrit and nectar. Maybe some nectar in the moon planet, because they drink Soma there. Maybe there is some nectar in Swargaloka, because people are eternal from human experience. Or maybe in Vadumukhe, in a face of a newly married wife. And then they contradict that, okay, if nectar was there in the sea, then why the water is salty? This cannot be in the sea. If the nectar is on the moon, then why do we have waxing and waning of moon? Why do we have black spots? It must be spotless. If it is in the Swargaloka, and why these demigods also come to Mrityaloka here, where they also die and come here? If it was there in Vadumukhe, in the face of a young bride, a girl, why does the person die eventually? He can just keep looking at wife's face and he would be eternal. And they conclude that the real nectar is actually in the kantha or in the throat of a person who is speaking Bhagavatam. So this is what I felt when this whole week listening to you speaking about Bhagavatam. So thank you very much for this.
All glories to Gurudev, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Granth Srimad-Bhagavatam ki, Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki. So I want to thank all of you for tolerating me for past 6-7 days. So anything good came, you can keep that with you, and anything bad which was not palatable, please, this is because of my conditioning and please leave it to me, and take only thing good which is authentic and authorized from the Bhagavatam. Please take it up, and please forgive any knowingly, unknowingly any offenses unto your lotus feet. Thank you so much, Lord Narasimhadev, for giving me the opportunity to serve your devotees, and I shall remain grateful for this. Hari Hari.